शाखया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मूकं करोति वयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं श्रीचैतन्यमीश्वरं परमानन्दमाधवम्। Hare Krishna. Very happy to be with all of you, and I'll be really glad, delighted, happy if you all can turn on your videos, please. So thank you so much. There was a change in the timing, but still you all came. Very happy. Okay, so today we are going to be starting a new chapter. We concluded with the 15th chapter, and 16th chapter में मुझे आप सबकी बहुत ज़रूरत लगेगी. I really need all of you because it's you all who are going to give the answers, and I'm just going to say the sloka. So I need all of your help. So please be there to support us. You're to be giving us good examples. Because what happens? The 16th chapter, the 15th chapter, what did Lord Krishna discuss? In 15th chapter, Lord Krishna discussed about the tree of material existence. And whenever you look at a tree, yes, what exactly do we need? What is our need from the tree? इसी पेड़ को उत्पन्न करने के लिए उसका उद्देश्य क्या होता है? What is ultimately the need from the tree? Exactly, the fruit. That's what we need, the fruit. So now fruit are of two types. There are good fruits and there are not so good fruits. There are sweet fruits and there are kadwas fruits, fruits which are bitter. So that is what Lord Krishna is going to explain, the two types of fruits which are produced on top of this tree. And what are those two fruits? The first fruit is called as Daivi Sampat, which means the divine qualities. And the second type of fruit is called as Asuri Sampat, or the demoniac qualities. So the divine and demoniac nature. This is the subject matter for discussion in the 16th chapter. Divine and demoniac nature. So first Krishna starts off with the divine nature. Abhi divine nature ka hum log zyada jo, we're not going to discuss much on it because this has been discussed plenty of times in the Bhagavad Gita. बहुत बार जो है ये divine nature तो बहुत discussion हो गया. Now ये demoniac nature जो है, that is something we will discuss more. Now मैं से प्रभु जी हमको तो डिवोटी बनना है, demon नहीं बनना है. So why exactly do we discuss about the demoniac nature? See, we need to understand that you're all devotees, definitely devotees, but still we have to give up certain demoniac tendencies which come even in a devotee. Yes, certain demoniac tendencies, certain wrong tendencies, certain tendencies which displease Krishna, this may come even in a devotee. So how to carefully avoid these tendencies? That is something that we will try to learn in this particular section. Is it okay? All right. Thank you. Some of you have really turned on your videos. Very grateful for that. And requesting others also, please. Khali lag raha hai. Please be there. All right. So we go on. The 16th chapter, first verse. So the first three slokas talk about the divine qualities which Krishna has given one after the other, continuously. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhir Jnana Yoga Vyavastitah Danam Damascha Yajnascha Swadhyayastapa Arjavam Ahimsa Satyam Akrodas Tyaga Shantir Apaishunam Daya Bhuteshvalo Luptvam Mardavam hrira chapalam teja kshamadriti chaucham adroho nati manita bhavanti sampadam daivim abhijatasya bharata. So these are all what? Bhavanti. These are all sampadam daivim. Daivim sampati. Daivi sampad means what? The divine nature. The divine nature. Abhijatasya bharata. Abhijatasya means they're born. So all these qualities mentioned here, they are all born of divine nature. Abhijatasya bharata. Hey Bharat, ye Arjuna, these are all born out of divine nature. I'll ask you a question. My question is, Krishna is calling Arjuna as Bharat. On one hand, Krishna says that, come on, you should not have anything associated in material world. But still he is calling Arjuna Bharat. Oh, the descendant of Bharata. You should not have anything to do with this material world. But still Krishna calls Arjuna as Kaunteya, son of Kunti. Why? Tell me. एक तो पढ़ाते bodily consciousness नहीं होना चाहिए. There should not be any connection to the body. You should not identify with the body. At the same time, the same Krishna is calling Arjuna as Kaunteya and Bharata. Why? जब तक आप आंसर करते हैं तब तक I'll take little water. गूगल पे नहीं ढूंढ रहे ना, अभी तक आंसर आया नहीं. Okay, Hare Krishna. Yes, to remind his responsibility and great lineage. But why material? Okay, Snidaji's answer is good. They too are great devotees of Krishna. Exactly. Very close. So one has those qualities. Yes. Kaunteya, Kunti Maharani's success potency of Krishna, which is completely spiritual. So connection to a spiritual person is spiritual. And Bharat. Bharata means what? One who provides the light of spiritual knowledge to everybody. It's called Bharat. So that is also spiritual. There is absolutely nothing material. Material नाम की कोई चीज ही नहीं है. It's both are spiritual. So Krishna calling Arjuna is either as Bharata or as Kaunteya. Both are completely spiritual. There is nothing material about it. Is it okay? All right. So now I'll be asking all of you. मैं आपको ही पूछने वाला हूँ. I'm not going to answer anything. So all the Devi Sampad we'll discuss. Abhayam. Now what is the meaning of Abhayam in English? हिंदी में तो सरल अर्थ है इसका. What is Abhayam? It's fearlessness. Abhayam is fearlessness. Right? A devotee is fearless. Any example of a devotee who is fearless? Devi Sampad. Fearlessness. कोई डर नहीं. Guitar. Prahlad, Hari Bol. Of course, now we should ensure that we don't repeat examples. ठीक है? वरना हर एक चीज के लिए प्रहलाद, तीसरा प्रहलाद, चौथा प्रहलाद. No, we should not be like that. Even same in case of asuras also. बोलो हिरण्यकशिपु, रावण, repeat नहीं होना चाहिए ऐसा. ठीक है? It should not be repeated. Okay. So Prahlad Maharaj is fearless. A beautiful example. Why? Because he was put into so many trials and tribulations, and repeated assassination attempts by his own father. But Prahlad never was fearful. Even Ambarish is a beautiful example. Ambarish did not even move. When Durvasa Muni's fire demon was coming from that side, Ambarish Maharaj was standing like this and remembering Savai Mana Krishna Padara Vindayo. He was continuing to remember. Yes. Hanumanji is also a good example. Abhi sare example एक ही पे खर्च मत कर दीजिए, because you cannot repeat the examples. So don't examples on one quality. We have a lot of other qualities also. ठीक है? Yes. Dhruv also. Dhruv is fearless because he entered the forest at the age of 5. And Hanumanji is fearless because he entered into the territory of Lanka. दुश्मन के territory में घुस के surgical strike किया. Yesterday, some of you were there in the Katha. I was giving to the Canada devotees, Calgary. So he went and did surgical strike in the दुश्मन के area में. He infiltrated and went. So that is Hanumanji. Very nice. Okay, Abhayam. Second quality, Sattva Shamshuddhihi. Sattva means goodness, but Sattva also means existence. Sattva Samshuddhihi means a person is interested in only purifying one's own existence. It was like we were with Hanumanji when you explained to me. Yes, Hanumanji के साथ हम भी उड़ रहे थे. We are like that drone which is going about. That drone is going and Hanumanji is going. It was like that, correct? Even I felt the same thing when I read and heard the first time. It was exactly like that. Anyways, so Sattva Samsuddhi means what? Sattva Samsuddhi means a divine person. He works or he lives to purify one's life. I want to purify myself. Who had that particular consciousness? I want to purify myself. Sattva Samshuddhi. Sattva means life, existence. So Samshuddhi means to completely purify. I just live to purify my existence. Who is an example of that? Sattva Samshuddhi. Let me purify myself. मुझे अपना आत्म शुद्धिकरण करना है. Okay. Parikshit Maharaj. This is the example I was looking for. Parikshit Maharaj wanted to purify his own existence. That is why what does he do? As soon as he gets the news that I'm going to die in 7 days, he becomes very happy. Good. Now what will I do? Now I will give up all social and political engagements and simply do this Sattva Samshuddhi. Even Valmiki is a good example. Good example. Valmiki also, as soon as he gets the instruction, he goes and asks his family members. So, will you take my sins also? They say, chal. Sins lega. You are supposed to maintain us. Of course, I am maintaining you. But I am maintaining you in a very notorious way. I am stealing from people. I am a highway robber. I am a thief. और उससे मैं मेंटेन कर रहा हूँ. तो मतलब वो मेंटेनेंस के साथ पाप भी आएगा. वो पाप आप लोगे? हम लोग नहीं लेंगे. अरे आधा तो ले लो. आधा भी नहीं ले. कुछ भी नहीं लेंगे. पाप तुम भी मेंटेन भी तुम ही करो. पाप भी तुम ही भुगतो. Then he said, that's it. I can't be with these people. Such irresponsible people. They said, हम नहीं. Sorry. And then Valmiki also gave them up. And he just asked, what do you want me to do? Then he goes and takes shelter of Narad Muni and all the other sages. And they give him Mara. So his entire life was to just purify himself. Mara. Yes. So that was his existence, purification. There are some more examples coming, but I'm not going to take that. Because आप बचाइए examples और बहुत सारे qualities है. You can't repeat. Okay, next. The next quality is called as Jnana Yoga Vyavastitah. Jnana Yoga Vyavastitah. What is Jnana Yoga Vyavastitah? Jnana Yoga Vyavastitah means dedicating life to cultivate knowledge. Just like all of you. Yes, I see some devotees, wow, kabhi bhi class rako. People are developing impression. Huh? Sanatan Dharma ke people are there. जब भी class लगते हैं, सब लोग आ जाते हैं. Everyone comes. Yes, I am also amazed. Even my Shiksha Guru gives class. I don't attend all classes. I attend maybe once in a week, twice in a week. लेकिन आप लोग इतना sincere. ज्ञान योग व्यवस्थित है. तो इसके एग्जांपल BYC ऑनलाइन टीम. ओके. और ऑफलाइन of course. ऑफलाइन लोगों को ऑफेंस नहीं लगना चाहिए ना. ऑफलाइन और ऑनलाइन devotees of BYC. And may you remain like this. That's what I pray. You attend and you give. Both. Attend and give. Yes, that is very good example again. Arjun. आप बहुत ही अच्छे से समझाते हैं प्रभु जी. किधर? I myself don't feel like hearing my lecture. You're all very merciful. You come because you're all sincere. मैं खुद अपना lecture नहीं सुनता. Yes, Arjuna. Situated for cultivate. He's asking so wonderful questions. It said Arjuna asked 17 vital questions to Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. Yes, and those 17 questions are something which really led to the entire meaningful discussion. Had Arjuna not asked those questions, or not been inspired with those questions, we wouldn't have this beautiful nectar of Bhagavad Gita, right? Arjuna, Jnana Yoga Vyavastita. One Arjun ko hi bol rahe hai about Devi Sampat. Jnana Yoga Vyavastita. Very good. Cultivating knowledge. All of you. Making notes, attentively hearing. Wow. Amazing. Let me develop 1% of your student qualities. I'm talking about especially those who have kept their videos on. Mata Devahuti, that's also a good example. Rahul Prabhu. Their videos are not on, but they are also active. Rahul Prabhu. Yes. Devahuti. She wanted to learn. She had enjoyed enough in the aerial mansion given by her husband, Kharadi Muni. बहुत enjoyment करने के बाद, what she said, Nirvinna nitaram bhuman asadindriya darshanat. This is asadindriya. These all material senses. They are tired. Are they tired? She never felt tired by serving her husband. She served her husband so much that she had become practically like a kankal. You know what is kankal? Haddi. She becomes so thin, lean and thin. but she didn't complain. तब complain नहीं किया था. Seva had made her emaciated, she did not complain. But after enjoying in the aerial mansion, that is when she got disgusted. Seva was painful. Today morning also in the Bhagavatam class we were discussing. The Seva is not going to be easy. Madarte ati dukkhitaha. Seva is ati dukkhita. It will give you misery. But तुम्हार सेविते दुख यदि दुतो से तो परम सुख. In case I get distress, lot of distress in your service, अरे say तो परम सुख. That is great enjoyment for me. That's a great delight. That's a feast for me. I never consider that to be a pain. It's a feast. It's so amazing. On the other hand, sense gratification करने के बाद जो experience होता है ना, that is disgusting. She says, Nirvinna Nitaram woman. Asat Indriya Tarshana. She said, I am disgusted with sense gratification. And जितना sense gratification देवहूति को मिला है ना, if you just read the Bhagavatam, इतना सपने में भी नहीं हम लोग सोच सकते. We cannot even imagine in our dreams that much sense gratification she had. But was she satisfied? No. But when she did the service of a great soul like Kardama, was she, because Kardama is like Guru, was she satisfied? Completely satisfied. Her skin, it was just no muscle at all. It was only skin sticking onto the body. Skin on top of the bone. That's what is described in Bhagavatam. But she was absolutely satisfied with complete personal increase. She was a princess. Kiski princess? Swayambhu Manu ki princess. Not an ordinary princess. Swayambhu Manu ki princess. That kind of princess, that kind of opulences she had, but she served, but she was absolutely satisfied. On the other hand, when she enjoyed, so-called enjoyed, she was disgusted. And then after that disgust, it is said, in order to cultivate knowledge, you have to be disgusted with material enjoyment. अगर वो disgust experience नहीं है ना, तो ज्ञान के classes के लिए अगर नहीं आएंगे आप लोग, will not go for classes if we don't have the disgust. You're all disgusted with material enjoyment? Really? अरे yes, no, कुछ तो बोलिए. ऐसा smile, you're smiling like this. I will not understand, no? Yes. Somebody is admitting. Others are saying नहीं, हम आपके सामने नहीं admit करेंगे. लेकिन सच तो है. हम जानते हैं भागवतम cannot be wrong. I know the truth. You also know the truth. Yes, we are disgusted. कुछ नहीं है. That is when a person can get ज्ञान, or the person will cultivate knowledge. They both are connected. So unless one is having disgust of this world, इसका ये मतलब नहीं सब कुछ हम disgusted हो जाए. No, spiritual things we should appreciate. You know what is the difference between Mayavadi? Mayavadi, what he does, you give him prasadam, he will say this is also material, disgusting. That is foolishness. Prasad is purely spiritual. That will not give disgust. That will give pure bliss to a person. Right? Disgusted is, yeah. Material variety is disgusting. Spiritual variety is bliss. So Arjuna is a good example. Next. Excuse me. Danam. Danam is charity. Now, सोच समझ के example देना. You are not supposed. Even demons are charitable. Yes. So सोच समझ के example दीजिए. Think over it and give the example of Danam. I knew you will all tell the example of Karna only. Danam. Bali Maharaj. What Dan did he do? Bali Maharaj is a good example. He is an example of Atma Samarpan. But what did he give away in charity? Is he glorified for giving those heavens and the lower planets in charity? What is he glorified for? He is glorified because he gave up the position of a proprietor. He says there is property, but superior to the property is the proprietor. And I am giving up my proprietor mentality because, oh Lord, I have realized that you are the real proprietor. Our proprietor. So giving up the proprietorship mentality, that is something that gave Bali the great post of a Mahajana. That's why we worship him today as Mahajano Yena Gataha Sapanta. He's a Mahajana. Right? He gave his proprietorship mentality. That is the Dan he did. Any other, I'm looking for another example of Dan. Bali is okay. This is Atma Samarpan actually. Atma Nivedan. See, Dan means mostly what we feel. दान में चलो थोड़ा राइस दे दिया दान, दाल दे दिया दान, या फिर थोड़ा पैसा कॉइन्स दे दिया दान, और सम नोट्स दे दिया, चेक दे दिया. इज दैट ओनली दान? कैन दान हैव अ डीपर मीनिंग आल्सो? यस, थिंक बताइए बताइए. यू ऑल नो इट, आई नो इट दैट यू ऑल नो इट. आप सबको पता है. सुदामा दान दिया, सुदामा को दान दिया. See, the real dan is jnana dan, to distribute knowledge. To distribute gyan is the real dan. Poetic, no? To distribute gyan is the greatest gyan. So Vyasdev, yes, he did dan. Bhishma Dev, he did dan of knowledge. Narad Muni is the hero of Bhagavatam. Why? Because there is not a single canto of Bhagavatam without Narad Muni. Outside in material world, Narad Muni people think is comedy character. नारायण नारायण को एकदम कॉमेडियन बना देते हैं हम लोग. They keep him as comedian who comes और इधर की बात उधर करते हैं, उधर की बात इधर करते हैं. That's what people consider in outside world. But if you read Bhagavatam, you understand that what kind of a deep Vaishnava is Narad Muni. Who are all his counselees? Yes, उनका काउंसलर किन किन के है? व्यास के काउंसलर, प्रहलाद के काउंसलर, युधिष्ठिर के काउंसलर, ध्रुव के काउंसलर, कोच मेंटर, सब कुछ किया है. वासुदेव के काउंसलर, भगवान के पिताजी के काउंसलर. My God. Shukadeva Goswami also, correct. Yes, Yasvanubhavam Akhila Shruti Saramekam Adhyatma Deepam Atitirshatam Tamondam Samsarinam Karunayah Purana Guhyam Tam Vyasasunam Upayami Gurum Munina. Yes. He also did the greatest dan by giving the topmost gyan of Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay. Shiva gave his own house in the house warming ceremony. He gave his own house as charity to Brahmanas. That is detachment, Vairagya. Although it is dan only, but that is Vairagya. Okay, all right. Next, Danam Dama. Dama means what? What is the meaning of Dama? सोच समझ के बताइए. Dam. Dama means what? This is Dama is completely different from Dam Aloo, Dam Biryani. No. सबसे अलग है, please. So don't give me such answers. Dama. In Marathi, they say, "Mala dam lagla hai." I'm tired. I'm fatigue. Thakwa zala hai. No, that is not that dam. Patience. No. Passion. No. Nice try, but austerity, restrained. Answer छोड़ के सब कुछ मिल रहा है मुझे. But anyway, keep going on. Ahankar. No. Control. Okay. Control of what? Yes. Dama is called as mind control. Sometimes Shama is called as mind control, Dama is called as sense control. Both are correct. So in this case, Prabhupada is translated Dama as control of mind. Who was controlled in mind and senses? Any example? मेरे को बढ़िया example आ रहा है. It's come till here. I'm not telling you because I want you to guess. Who was so very sense controlled, mind controlled? Who's called? Amazing example. Yudhishthir Maharaj, yes, of course he was sense controlled, but you have to quote a powerful incident also. One who displayed sense control to the world. Lord Ram, yes. Haridas Thakur is the example I was looking for. Hari Bol, amazing example. Namacharya Haridas Thakur ki. Who had come to test? Who had come to test Haridas Thakur ki? कौन test लेने आई थी? Sakshat Maya Devi. Sakshat Maya Devi had come, the personified material energy Maya Devi had come to test Haridas Thakur. Haridas, come on, we can enjoy. But did Haridas fall for her? No. In fact, what did he do? He made Maya Devi do Mundan, accept one white sari and chant Hare Krishna. He initiated her also. This is amazing example of sense control. Arjun Urvashi also, correct. Arjun Urvashi, Arjun Uttara, both are accepted. But Haridas Thakur jitna exam kisi ka nahi liya. So can you imagine Maya? Where is Apsara in front of Maya Devi? Apsara is nothing in front of Maya. Personified Maya Devi. She tested Haridas Thakur. But Haridas Thakur did not budge even a little. Next. Danam Danavascha Yajnascha. Yajna. This devotee performed very nice yajnas. I don't want wrong example again. There are many who did. Even Daksha did yajna. That was not pleasing to Lord. I wanted devotee who was doing yajna and it was very pleasing to Lord. Yeah, okay, Dashrath Maharaj. Dashrath Maharaj did Putra Kamishta yajna. Ashwamedh yajna. Janaka, Yudhishthira, Prithu. Yes. I would like to give the prize to Yudhishthira Maharaj in this case. Why? Because Yudhishthira Maharaj performed only 3 yajnas. Indra performed how many yajnas? Indra. So to become Indra, you have to perform 100 yajnas. That is why Indra is also called Shata Kratu. Shata means 100 and Kratu means sacrifices. So one who performs 100 sacrifices is called as Indra, Shata Kratu. But Yudhishthira Maharaj performed his sacrifice only for glorifying Krishna. That is why his sacrifice is the best. In fact, you read the beautiful description of Yudhishthira Maharaj's Rajsuya Yajna. Parampuja Radha Govind Maharaj describes so beautifully. Who had come? Who are all guests? Narad Muni, Brahma, Shiva, Shukadev Goswami, all are there. And Yajna, what is happening? Yajna is going on. But nobody is interested in Yajna. Who is everybody interested in? In seeing the darshan of Krishna. Yes. Because Krishna is there and he is being glorified and he is the recipient of the Agra Puja. So that is the greatest act. So Yudhishthira Maharaj performed Yajna only for one purpose, to give Krishna the Agra Puja. The topmost worship, nothing else. To establish this fact that Param Brahma Param Dhama Pavitram Paramam Bhavan Purusham Shashvatam Divyam Adidevam Ajam Vibhum. So to establish Krishna as the Parama Purusha, to establish Krishna as Param Bhagwan and Param Tattva, this was the only reason for which Yudhishthira Maharaj performed Yajna. So that is why the best example of somebody performing Yajna is who? Yudhishthira Maharaj. Haribo. Mirabai never performed Yajna. He didn't do Yajna as such. So we're discussing about Yajna. Study of Vedas. Okay. इसमें बताइए. Swadhyay means study of Yajnas. Sorry, study of Vedas. Okay. Another example is from Brahmaji. Very correct. Brahmaji is good example. Brahmaji is good example because Brahmaji studied the Vedas 3 times and he concluded that Bhakti Yoga is the topmost process. So he studied, can you imagine Brahma's entire body is made of intelligence. His whole body is made of intelligence, but still he is going through the Vedas 3, he had to undergo Vedas 3 times and finally concluded that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhakti is the topmost process. Yes, Prahlad Maharaj studying in the womb also is a good example. But studying of the Vedas means actually doing Veda part. That Brahmaji had. Prahlad Maharaj did Shravan in the womb. But I'm talking about Veda part. Swadhyay means Swa Adhyay. Sometimes devotees ask, Prabhuji, is it okay if I hear lectures only? I don't like to read. I'm not a very good avid reader. No. Hearing lecture is good. At the same time, staying in connection with Prabhupada, opening the Shastras and staying in touch with Prabhupada books is very, very vital and important. That is also vital and important and cannot be neglected. You cannot avoid it. Right? You cannot avoid it. Janakji, through Ashtavakraji, referring to Kena Upanishad. Okay. He heard from Ashtavakra Muni. He read the Vedas. He got the Vedic knowledge from him. Correct. Valmiki got the knowledge of all the Vedas just by understanding Ramachandra. You understand the personality of Ram, you understand everything. Even Vibhishan, he understood everything just by reciting Ram. And he gave the entire knowledge of Vedas to Sarama, his wife. Good. Next. Tapa. Tapasya. Quick. कौन बोलेगा देखते हैं. Very easy. Tapasya. Somebody who pleased Krishna with tapasya. I knew it. You will say Dhruv Maharaj, but Dhruv Maharaj को भी अच्छे points मिले हैं, लेकिन Krishna did not appreciate the tapasya of Dhruv Maharaj so much as much he appreciated the tapasya of certain special devotees. Of course, Dhruv gets a prize. Prize तो मिलेगा. We are looking for the best, nothing less than the best. Vasudev's father Sursen, okay, his father Vasudev doing tapasya. In fact, that tapasya is also not appreciated. Prabhupada says, if you want Krishna as your child, you go and serve in the spiritual world. Don't call Krishna here. Prabhupada strictly says that. By the way, I wanted to tell all of you, we have shifted to a permanent place now. Abhi zyada shifting hoga nahi. So please pray. It's a new place. And yesterday was the first class I gave. Just telling all of you. Ravana's tapasya. हमको ड्यूटी डिस्कशन करना है प्रभु, नॉट डीमन. Krishna's parents correct. Sutapa, Krishni, Aditi, Vasudev, Aditi and Kashyap. But still, Krishna, that is not so much pleasurable. They wanted Krishna to come here, but Prabhupada says, you go there and serve. Why are you coming here? You go there. Tum jao. You want Krishna as child, go up to spiritual world and serve Krishna as your child. Yes, Mataji. You have a question.
Sudama, Prabhuji.
Sudama doing tapasya. Sudama was actually living out his karma in one sense. Tapasya means, although you have a good karma, still you don't enjoy it. You still voluntarily suffer. Sudama, he was living out his karma. Right? So that is not tapasya. I will give you the example. The example is Prachetas. Yes. Prachetas did tapasya 10,000 years. For 10,000 years underwater, they did tapasya. But Krishna comes and appreciates their tapasya. They thought, oh, is it really for 10,000 years? No. Is it underwater tapasya? That's why? No. What he appreciated, that they cooperated with each other. This is the greatest tapasya, to cooperate with each other. There were 10 prachitas. See, tapasya akila karna aasan hai. But to do in a group of 10 people, there will be so many 10 opinions, ego clashes. But prachitas never fought. They always cooperated for so many years. 10,000 years they cooperated underneath water, under such difficult circumstances, and pleased Krishna by doing the tapasya of putting aside your opinion, putting aside your ego, putting aside your conceptions, and continuing the service to do the tapasya. So the prize goes to whom? Prachetas. To whom? Prachetas. Haribol. Next. After tapasya, there is austerity. Then there is arjavam. Arjavam means simplicity. Can you give an example of simplicity? Who's a devotee who was very simple at heart? Simple heart. Ekdam saral bhav. Kunti Maharani, okay. She's saying Tatha Paramahamsanam Muninam Amalatmanam Bhakti Yogam Vidanatam Katam Passemahi Striya. She's very simple. She says that, oh, come on, you're meant for Paramahamsas, Amalatmanas. You come to propagate the cult of Bhakti Yoga. How can I, who is a mere simple woman, understand you? A simple prayer. Sudama also was very simple. Yudhishthira simple. Prahlad Maharaj simple. But we'll give the award to Nakul, the brother of Pandavas. Nakula. See, Nakul was an astrologer. He was an astrologer. And out of the 5 Pandavas, the favorite of Duryodhan was Nakul. He liked Nakul very much. Nakul is बहुत अच्छा लड़का है. ये भीम सबसे बड़ा है ना, जिसमें तो बदमाश है भीम. अर्जुन ही also बदमाश. युधिष्ठिर महाराज ठीक है, धर्म बहुत करता है, ये शो करता है इसका. सहदेव भी मुझे अच्छा नहीं लगता, लेकिन नकुल बहुत अच्छा लगता है. So Duryodhan really liked Nakul very much. So one day Duryodhan went to Nakul and told Nakula, tell me, when if we start the war, Kauravas will definitely win. Tell me. And then Arjuna, as Nakula told that you start the war on Mokshada Ekadashi, you will definitely win. Duryodhana said, "Thank you, Nakul. You're my best brother. Don't worry, मैं तेरे को मारूंगा नहीं. I mean, in the war also, I will not do any harm to you. I will see to it that nothing happens to you. Thank you." And he goes. And this news reaches Krishna. So Krishna becomes one. अभी भक्त लोग कुछ करते हैं. So Nakul knew it. He knew it very well. But come on, if I tell him what date, he is going to win the war. And what did Krishna do? Krishna became very tensed. So what did Krishna do? Krishna called Surya, come here. Surya Dev immediately came. Chandra, come here. Chandra Dev also came. Rahu, Rahu also came. तीनों को बुलाया, and Krishna told them, let's see how simple is this Nakul, simple boy, he's an astrologer. Duryodhan came and he asked him, which day should we fight so that we win the war? And he said, the Mokshada Ekadashi. That is the day they're going to start the war. That's the day they declared and the pact is signed. And all three of them were bewildered. Yes, Bhagwan, हमको क्यों बोल रहे हैं? Oh Lord, do we need to do anything? It was, yes, stand in straight line. तीनों. So they stood in straight line. He said, now finish, that's it, disperse. बोला कुछ समझ में नहीं आया भगवान. हमको straight line में खड़े हो क्या आप बोल रहे हो? चले जाओ यहाँ से. He said very simple. When sun, moon, Rahu and earth all come in straight line, ग्रहण होता है. तो ग्रहण एक और दिवस ऐड हो गया. अभी मैंने क्या किया, एक और दिवस ऐड कर दिया. I have added one more day. So I have postponed the war by one more day. And now the Kauravas cannot win. Hari bol. Thank you. Jao. See how intelligently Krishna did this. But Nakul was very simple. Another simple example is Dronacharya. When Drishtadumna had approached Dronacharya for learning martial arts, Dronacharya knew it very well that this Drishtadumna is going to kill me. His goal of life, you ask any devotee here, what is the goal of your life? They say, Prabhuji, to go back to Godhead. Goal of your life to develop Krishna prema. Goal of your life to become servant of the servant. Goal of the life to become a lover of Bhagavatam. Yes, but you ask Drishtadumna what is the goal of life, what he will say? To kill Drona. That was his goal of life, to kill Drona. Because I have born to just kill Drona. But when he approached the Dronacharya immediately agreed to teach him. This is simplicity of Brahman. Banana leaf seller in Chaitanya Charitamrita. He's called Kola Vecha Sridhar. Kola Vecha Sridhar. Correct. Our audience may not know him. Chaitanya Charitamrita we'll discuss about Kola Vecha Sridhar. Next. So this is Arjava, simplicity. Next is Ahimsa. Ahimsa means non-violence. Now who did Ahimsa? Yudhishthir is Ahimsa. No war. Please, silent. No. Person who did Ahimsa is actually Arjuna. Arjuna did Ahimsa. Say, Prabhuji, उसने तो लड़ाई की, हिंसा किया. No, see, understand, the meaning of Ahimsa is not that you don't commit violence. The meaning of Ahimsa is you stop violence. The meaning of Ahimsa is to stop the violence. So if you are using violence to stop the violence, that is also called Ahimsa. Jad Bharat is good example. Jad Bharat was still like the moment. So Jad Bharat actually is an example of gravity, Maunam. Example of Maunam. Ahimsa example is Arjuna. He fought in order to stop the Himsaks. Yes. That is Ahimsa. Okay. Satyam. Satya. Yudhishthir, Satya, he lost some points. Yudhishthir lost points in Satya. Actually, it is said, in the war, Yudhishthir Maharaj, his chariot was in the air. Yes, Yudhishthir Maharaj's chariot was not touching the ground. Yudhishthir Maharaj's chariot was in air because he had an exalted position. ये मनुष्य देह में होके भी देवता समान है. He is like a demigod, although in the body of human being. So his chariot was always in the air. But what happened was Yudhishthir Maharaj, when he was told by Krishna, Dronacharya said, I will not believe anyone telling Ashwatthama. Bhima killed a elephant Ashwatthama and said, Maine Ashwatthama ko maar diya hai. I killed Ashwatthama. Really? Unless Yudhishthir tells, I will not believe. Then Yudhishthir tell, Ashwatthama Kunjara Marova. Krishna told Yudhishthir Maharaj, jhoot bolo. If Krishna, Yudhishthir Maharaj would have told. So what did he say? Ashwatthama Kunjaro Marova. Kunjara is elephant. So when Kunjara, Krishna knew he is going to tell Kunjara. So Krishna blew the conch. Beep. Ashwatthama, beep, Marova. He beeped it. He gave a beep sound with the shank. So that's why Dronacharya heard Ashwatthama Marova. So Yudhishthir Maharaj's chariot immediately came down. So some people say because Yudhishthir Maharaj lied, his chariot came down. No. Because Yudhishthir Maharaj hesitated to lie for Krishna. Krishna के लिए झूठ बोलने के लिए डरे. That's why his chariot came down. Not because of lying. Krishna says something, it is truth. It is never ever lie. Krishna says, tell, just do it. Khatam. Don't ask. Okay. So that is about. So Satya kaun hai example? Vidur. Satya means to preach the truth. Very good. Vidura. So Vidura had the courage to come in front of Dhritarashtra and to preach the truth. Preach. So he came. Nobody would have told you that. You hear, just open Bhagavatam and read. What all, actually thoda padhte hain. We'll go to the Bhagavatam. I'll tell you what heavy words does Vidura use for Dhritarashtra. Just give me half a minute. You should read. One of you is going to read. See how heavily. Who will read? I need two people to read alternatively. Who goes will read? Ekdam heavy. Start.
Your father, brother, well-wishers, and sons are all dead and passed away. You yourself has expanded the major portion of your life. Your body is now overtaken by invalidity, and you are living in the home of another.
Can you imagine? He's saying, "Tera ghar abhi nahi raha." This is Yudhishthir Maharaj's home now. It's not your home. This is Vidura telling to Dhritarashtra. किसी और के घर पे रह रहे हो तुम. Next. Alternate. Next.
You have been blind from your very birth, and recently you have become hard of hearing. Your memory is shortened and your intelligence is disturbed. Your teeth are loose, your liver is defective, and you are coughing up mucus.
Got it? पहले तो अंधे थे, अभी बहरे भी हो रहे हो. पहले तो तुम अंधे थे, अभी बहरे भी हो रहे हो. उसके साथ साथ भुलक्कड़ भी हो रहे हो. Yes, that means you're getting old. Your teeth is becoming loose. Your liver is defective. You're coughing mucus. अभी ऐसा कौन सच बताएगा? Who will tell this? Yes. Next.
Alas, how powerful are the hopes of a living being to continue his life. Verily, you are living just like a household dog and are eating remnants of food given by Bhima.
Can you imagine? He just called Dhritarashtra as a household dog. कुत्ते की तरह जी रहे हो तुम. It is too much truth to take it, correct? And we should appreciate Dhritarashtra also. He took it. We should appreciate him also. And what he's saying, भीम के टुकड़े पे पल रहे हो तुम. This is actually Hindi. भीम के टुकड़े. Why Bhim? Because Bhim is the person who scored 100 out of 100. मतलब 100 out of 100 मतलब he killed all the 100 children of Dhritarashtra. 100 out of 100 लाया ना एग्जाम में भीम ने, बराबर? So उसके लिए भीम के टुकड़ों पे, he's especially mentioned Bhima. Because Bhima is the one who's to come and feed him. So भीम के टुकड़ों पे पल रहे हो तुम. Heavy, na? So now you see next. It's still not. It's not over. Chinmay,
There is no need to live a degraded life and subsist on the charity of those whom you tried to kill by arson and poisoning. You also insulted their wife and usurped their kingdom and wealth.
जिन लोगों को तुमने मार, you tried your whole life, what did you spend? Your whole life, the people you tried to kill, now they are only protecting you. Are you shameless fellow? You're living under them also and happily eating and living? Heavy, na? Very heavy instructions.
Despite your unwillingness to die and your desire to live, even at the cost of honor and prestige, your miserly body will suddenly dwindle and deteriorate like an old garment.
Hare Krishna. So you don't have desire to die, you want to live more, even at the cost of honor and prestige. That means तेरा कोई तू मर चुका है, you're dead. You are not having any honor, you don't have any prestige. स्वाभिमान नाम की चीज नहीं तेरे पास. So he beats and pounds him left and right. Who? This is the truth. Nobody else could have told this truth. Now he's telling the truth because there is a relationship. Because there is a relationship, you can tell the truth. If there is no relationship, you try this, it would have been very insulting. But Dhritarashtra takes it very well. He doesn't speak anything. Chupchap nikalta hai. All right, we'll close here. I have now 5 to 7. I have to take some initiation interviews for some candidates. So kindly allow me to proceed ahead. And because of that, those interviews, we had to prepone the class to 4 o'clock. So 4 to 5 we had. So I'm very grateful to all of you for coming and wonderfully taking part in this class. And let's meet again. For Bhagavad Gita, we'll meet again. And tonight we'll be having a small Bhagavad Gita class on the 7th chapter, first verse. So we'll meet that time. Thank you all so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.